Okay, cool. Actually, normally my computer has like a bit of a delay, so I'm never sure if it's actually recording or not. This one actually jumped up pretty good. Anyway, yeah, this is first off, let me say hi to some Mando mercs that I'm talking to. Yeah, about Dragon Con. Uh, yeah, and hopefully I'll see y'all there. I am serious about what I said about wanting to do a Gangnam Style or parody video. I still have to like find a like song or write one for it or whatever, but it started off as a joke actually in one of the builders groups. I think it might be the Mando Mercs page. I'm not sure. It's on Facebook anyway. Which, by the way, if I remember correctly, the Mando Mercs do have a Facebook page, and they have some really great builds on there. But yeah, we were sitting there and we were actually talking about Google Wallet, and they were like, "Well, I heard Google Wallet's a scam." No, Google Wallet is an actual, real service, and the problem is that yeah, the scammers have finally figured out how to try to game the system, but Google Wallet in and of itself is very good. And yeah, this is actually was going to be one of the finger pieces for the Iron Man gauntlet I'm doing. I'm actually going to be completely redoing because I'm not going to go with the original plan that I had, which was to put these magnets. This is actually two of them. You can see the seam. Uh, Damn, they're strong. I'll deal with that later. But inside this, underneath all this tape, I've actually got a magnet there, and then somewhere around, I have to find it, I've actually got a glove that actually has the corresponding magnet inside the glove, and these are strong enough where between 2 or 3 layers of first aid tape and the actual fabric of the glove, it still holds on strong enough where I have to actually be deliberately pulling the damn thing off. I think they are N52 or something. They're pretty strong magnets, actually. And there is my pre-reg card for DragonCon 2015, and well, I don't know. Well, yeah, you can still see my 4-day badge from last year on there, which I still actually have the blood donor, little pin on it. In any event, oh, by the way, for those of you who didn't catch my last video, this is the back plate, and this is the main torso support structure that I'm doing for my armor build. And right now I am currently working on the abdomen piece, which this is actually the, so far what I've got built on the back piece. I forgot that this and this are actually two separate pieces, but there's the side wraparounds, and for this as well, that actually all turn it into one piece. It's just that the way the model was done, this ended up actually being an opening, which I don't know why. I think it might be for a bit of articulation or whatever. Once I actually get the piece done, then I'll be able to figure that out. In any event, oh, this is my new e-cigarette battery. It's an Ego C upgrade. This is the one I was using. This is actually, yeah, it's also an Ego C upgrade. What I like about these, and same thing on this, this is the one I unscrewed. It's got a, but it's got mini USB pass-through, so that while I'm, it's like, so when battery, at whatever point the battery ends up getting low, I can just plug that in and but I can continue to actually use it while it's charging, so I like that. I ended up having to get this yesterday because, see, these are good. I actually ended up pulling it back out, but you can see that yellow wire ended up actually coming out of the solder joint. I'm hoping to be able to take my I usually keep it right here, but somewhere I've got a soldering gun, so I'm going to try to heat up the solder and reflow it and be able to put that wire back on it and continue using this battery. But yeah, these are actually very good. Alright, you just put it back in. Now see, the weird thing is because that wire disconnected, yeah, see, it still works. Just to show that this is in fact a working battery. I gotta refill that. But you see, so yeah, that yellow wire is the ground wire, so I'm having to reattach that. And see, I like using these blue cartridges. All I've done is just pop the cap out and pull out that little silicone disc ring that's in there, and this is just a standard fill bottle. Let that soak in. Yeah. Yeah, I like using these. It's a little bit milder of a hit, but gets the job done. But this has a much higher resistance coil than the one that's in here. This is like a 1.8, I think it is. This is like hitting 2. This is like hitting like 3, and so my battery ends up lasting into like a 5th day. Whereas with this coil, usually I'll end up going into 2nd or 3rd day, which I like, and then actually, well, basically, yeah, this definitely lasts into the 2nd day. I can generally just start to crack the 3rd day before I got to put it back on the charger. If I use a single coil, this is actually a dual coil, unit in here. If I use a single coil, then I always last into a 3rd day and can sometimes crack a 4th. But when I pop that blue cartridge on there, it'll be I charge it maybe once every week or so. And what I like about this is that I can adjust the airflow, sort of, because it's got 2 holes. Yeah, you can see directly in line with the switch there. It's got 2 air holes in it, and I love the fact that this head just happens to line up correctly right above the thing, so I can either, like that, choke off an air hole, or naturally position my hand for it. And choking the airflow gives more of a solid hit, so. But you'll see in like the first video that I uploaded from this channel, I actually have a kid now, and so I'm kind of like, finally, making the commitment to actually get the hell off cigarettes. I still smoke cigarettes every once in a while because it just, like, I mean, cigarettes are hard to give up. And it's not even the nicotine that's the issue for me. It's the physical act of it. In any event, I'm actually going to get some work done while I'm discussing my various and sundry stuff. Yeah. And basically the way I do all my builds is Pepakura. And let's see, I think, yes, this is actually, yeah, I have the abdomen wrap around put into 7 sections, and because it speeds up my build process a lot. And there, and these are actually kitchen scissors, which work really well. Well, anyway, let's see. The different interesting stuff that which has come across my desk lately. Started watching a YouTuber, Tommy Sotomayor. He's got a couple of different channels. There's TNN News Raw or something. There's Tommy's Beastie Squad. He's got a couple of different channels that have like more different focuses and everything. Some of which he's more professional in doing his show, and then there's some where you kind of see him. And I mean, I like him. I mean, he is definitely, he's about no bullshit. And I do have to admit, I love how, okay, you have the various race baiters out there, like Jesse Jackson and so and such, that I love the fact that this guy says things that need to be said. And I know damn good and well, every time he does a video, the race baiters are biting, freaking grinding their back teeth because they can't accuse him of racism because he's black. And so it's like, you finally have people that having stuff that needs to be said, like calling the Ferguson rioters, out for their stuff, because this wasn't about, this, oh, we need justice or whatever. No, this was straight out about looting. You have people that are trying to honor the memory of this guy that got shot by looting the stores that he robbed in the first place. So, it's just kind of like, what the hell? And I like the fact that this guy says things that need to be said, that actually call people on their crap, and they have to listen, because that you can't accuse this guy of some sort of agenda or, whatever else, because he's black. So it's kind of a, I love the fact that somebody can actually finally call these people out on their crap. He does say a few things that I'm just like, oh, come on, that is going a little bit far or whatever. But then again, I sit there and I take a look at, the examples that he's showing, and it's like, yeah. So, check him out. Another one that I actually like is Atheist Gamer. Some of the stuff that he talks about, I'm just like, oh my god, I really did not want to hear that, but it's stuff that also needs to be said. And he's actually, I mean, he's kind of like I would be if I, really wanted to put more effort into, like, searching for the things that he talks about. And then Alpha Omega Sin is kind of like I would be if I, was more into gaming than I actually am. I mean, I am a big gamer, but I tend to, for me, it's more along the lines of, it's a meditative activity. I play first-person shooters because it puts me into a mental state which I can concentrate and think, and while I'm sitting there trying to peg off headshots, I'm going over various designs for, like, I've got some hybrid vehicle designs that look very promising. If you check out my GoFundMe page, I really need to do some updates and everything, and I will be actually posting more videos on what I'm doing with that, so people get an idea. Because I've talked to a couple people that have said, well, I mean, it's an interesting idea, but I mean, it doesn't really present the ideas in a way that makes me grab onto it. And really, I'm not really too concerned about getting the funding through the GoFundMe page. I'm really more interested in getting attention out, and it's just kind of a platform to do that, because there's no time limit on it. I mean, and the fact is that if I do get the funding for it, alright, cool. But basically, some of the ideas that I'm going to be working on with it is, there's a video that I saw about OpenCV, which is it's a object tracking software that's open source, and I've actually got, this webcam is, pretty decent, but I've also got a PS3 webcam, or PS3 camera, that I got the drivers for, which I wasn't happy about paying $3 for them, but, hey, I mean, it's worth it to be able to use the PlayStation camera as a webcam. Although it really doesn't go as good as the example videos tend to make it look like in terms of using it for like recording or whatever. Like I personally was not able to get it to work well with YouTube, hence the reason why I got this webcam. But I'm gonna try to give it a shot because it is much better, I mean, much better resolution, better tracking and everything. It's not laggy at all and everything. You don't get that motion blur like you do right here. But I'm hoping really that I can actually use that for for the OpenCV stuff because it is a damn good camera. And I'm looking into doing some 3D scanning stuff with it. I know that the Kinect camera is much better, which is ultimately what I'll probably end up using though. But like in the workshop, I want to do a Tony Stark type drafting table, which I mean, I want to get just a drafting table set up first off, mostly because it will be a little bit easier to do it that way. But I tend to really hold on to you do this project and then you expand and whatever else and all. And so it just kind of fits in with my desire for the natural progression and evolution of it rather than just jumping straight into the full-size drafting room like he had in Iron Man 3, I think it was. Which ultimately what I want to do is have probably a 12-foot cube area that would be a virtual holographic space. I'm also looking at how to design and build my own head-mounted display. I know that there are several companies out there that are already doing it, that they're doing much better equipment than I will be able to do, but it's the personal satisfaction of doing it myself. And if I can make it where I can have my particular headset done cheaper than theirs, I can turn it into an integrated part of the system. But on the GoFundMe page, you'll see where I say that I am using the costuming as part of a rehabilitation thing, which I am. And I am, in fact, trying to develop a rehabilitation method in which, you use a person's interests to teach them various skills that could actually help them get actual jobs. So, like, for me, because my particular interests are what they are, my system is much, much more effective for somebody like me than it would be for if you had somebody whose interest was cooking or interest was, like Pokemon or something like that. It's not a perfect system, and it's probably going to evolve into a homeschooling method in which I'll be able to use the costuming stuff and various things that I'm doing to teach my son college-level concepts while he's still even in elementary school, such as when I'm working with fiberglass, for example. I'm actually using, instead of fiberglass for this build and for a while, I'm actually using this stuff, which is, like, I wouldn't be able to go swimming with it, but I could definitely, if necessary, slog through the rain to get, from one place to another, like, and if it gets a drink spilled on it or something like that, I don't have to worry about it. And it's also much safer to use. But eventually I'll be able to start teaching him about fiberglass, which means that I'll be able to teach him about endothermic versus exothermic reactions, about chemical catalysts, and various other things which normally you wouldn't touch base on until, like, at least middle school. And then on a piece like this, for example, you have the various fold lines and things like that. Well, this little triangle here actually goes up underneath this 35, and so an example like that, where you have the triangle and you have the face, and it's supposed to actually go up under it, that means that I can use that for smaller examples of how to teach about shear forces. So that way, and how it is that, okay, when you have a joint between two pieces or whatever, you have to make sure that it's done in such a way as to, be strong enough against sideways motion, etc., and whatever. Uh, be able to teach them about electronics because, oh, crap, where did I put it? Well, in any event, this is actually, if you look up here, that's a Tron Legacy Identity Disc that I did. That is just a pure out mock-up. I do actually have 4 of these in the inner ring. You might be able to see, yeah, you can kind of see that little, yeah, right there above my finger. That's actually one of the LED bulbs sticking up off of it. What I did for that is I actually clipped off the wires like right at the thing because I just wanted to get a mock-up going. But eventually I will be having these in there. The C-ring and the outer ring will actually be this molding plastic that I found, which I need to find again. But it's polycaprolactone plastic. You put it in hot water, it turns into a clear gel, and then you can mold it and everything else, let it cool down, and it's pretty damn good. Now, in any event, I'm going to cap this off because I was really only meaning to do like a 15-minute update post. But I need to get back to this, and then I actually need to get some, I love my coffee mug. I actually need to get lunch and everything else, but basically just wanted to get this out there just to get a quick post up and everything. And in any event, I will be doing a lot of footage while I'm at Dragon Con, just kind of just showing different stuff and everything. And I will be doing more regular posts about my life in general. I am a high-functioning autistic. Specifically, I have what's called pervasive developmental disorder, which basically means that, there are differences between high-functioning autism as a specific diagnosis and pervasive development, PDD. The basic way that it's described, though, is that I am a high-functioning autistic. They are both on the autism spectrum. It's just that the difference between me and a high-functioning autistic, per se, is that I can more easily make eye contact with people. I don't have as bad of a, if I remember correctly, it's the mirroring neurons that are the main factor for the eye contact issue. And so my mirroring neurons are not so affected by, by my particular condition. I'm also very lucky in that my condition was pretty mild in the first place, and I also was lucky enough to have people around me that could help me learn coping skills and things like that, and just kind of just knew how to deal with me. In any event, I'm going to cap this off, get it uploaded, and then get back to work here because I got that torso piece done. I've got to redo the chest plate because I was going to use a Heartbreaker variant, which I like the basic form of it and everything. And to be honest, the way that the original 3D model was done, it was done in sections that if you're doing it on an EVA foam build, would work out really well, but it doesn't really translate to a paper or cardboard build that well. So I'm going to see what I can do about trying to redo the model and join a couple of the pieces that really need to be connected. And then maybe do a re-unfold and see if that helps. It's just that the way the structure of the model is, it doesn't really support itself well enough for me to be able to get to the hardening stage and really get it done well. Plus also the fact is that I used the poster board for it, and had I used like the same kind of cardboard that I'm using for everything, this is actually what a friggin' one of those little 3-arm drying racks that you use for clothes came in, although I use Little Caesars pizza boxes for the majority of my builds. In any event, yeah, I'm gonna try to get video uploaded later tonight. And I really need to actually get some sort of notes. I don't know if you're actually hearing. Wow, I do have a good microphone. But anyway, anyway, like I said, I'm gonna get this capped off and then get back to work and all, and hope to see y'all soon. Anyway, and eventually I'm gonna actually start like watching other YouTubers because I just, for the hell of it, I'm gonna like, I want to try to make it like every time thing. I steal somebody's ending. Right now the only one I can remember is Alpha Sin Omega, and I've already said Nerdette and Gamers Game the fuck on. So anyway, I'm just gonna just cap it off. And anyway, thank you for watching and continue having a nice day.